You ever watched the film The Room?
No.
No, it's like considered like the worst movie ever made. Part of the reason is because like the guy who directed, wrote it, produced it, starred in it, edited it, everything was the same guy.
I loved it.
It became such a famous train wreck that it's now a cult classic. I feel, it was probably just such a terrible movie just because nobody was paid to say, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't the great idea that you think it.
Right. I get your analogy. But the thing is, a buddy of mine I went to school with, Phil, that in Toronto here owns all the Jimmy's coffees or whatever. Great guy. One day movie star, went down to LA, couldn't do it. It's a tough business, whatever. So what does he do? Now, this is my buddy Phil
Uh-huh.
that went to school. He only writes, directs, produces, and makes himself the lead actor in his own movie, actually puts it all together, accomplishes it, and sells it to the movie network. And Death Junction is on YouTube. It's a full movie. And I knew the first scene. I'm like a jaded stockbroker. I don't know, he got $500 from me, which is a lot of money like 30 years ago. He completed his whole movie himself. And it's actually, it was on and showed on the TMN. And
Oh my God.
so, but yeah, that was me. I was buying drugs or so. I forget what I was doing, but to my kids are when they saw it like just 10 years ago, I'm still on there somewhere. I'm in the first 5 minutes. I
All
think my
right.
line is, hey, you got the stuff, man? Something.
You mentioned the third party auditor, and there are chances where maybe the third party auditor may have their own conflict of interest. So I'll give you an example with the 2008 great financial crisis, the bond rating agencies, and the conflict of interest that was implied was that they're being paid by the very same people they're supposed to kind of sort of audit. Is that something that has happened or can happen?
So some audits are better than others, and some audit firms are better than others, no question about it. And some are just more aware and maybe have other clients that do the same thing. And they've learned stuff themselves as per what dies. But I think generally promoters of private funds, especially to your direct clients, tend to overstate the significance of an audit in terms of providing them some protections that somehow, because there's out of everything that's true and real, and that is just not accurate. It just is. And so there's a big gap between even what the best audit does and highlights and what the risks are that an investor might not have a clue of. So the manager then, they're getting on. That's good. That's better than not being an audit. Investment funds like ours require an audit, but not all private funds require an audit. Just like not funds require to be registered. So your manager that can't call himself a manager who's actually registered, but might call himself a manager because he's not registered, is also striking his NAV because he's not having a third party. There's no rule against that. But there's just such a huge variance between being an investment fund manager and just that guy. He's probably licensed as a mortgage administrator because those are requirements. But in Ontario, he doesn't need to be licensed to run a pool of mortgages with the Ontario Securities Commission. I want to say at university and get over my skis as somehow being an expert on securities in the States, but just generally be aware of what the requirements are we allocate to them. But they are like a regulated investment company. Like they are regulated like a public mutual fund is in Canada. I was speaking with someone just yesterday, actually, that didn't know. And that was that you could just go to the website on the SEC website and you can go find, in my case, of our friends in Utah, all 150 loans, what they paid for the loan, who's borrowed the money, how much, the terms. So it's a private fund doing private loans to private companies.
Wow.
That are SEC registered. And this is all in the public domain, and they hate it because the competition can go and look and see what the terms, is it payment in kind, is it in default, is it whatever. And they're posting that 4 times a year on the SEC website.